Everyone, and a warm welcome to you all to Menter Moch Cymru virtual conference. Helo pawb a chroeso cynnes i chi gyd i Cynhadledd rithiol Menter Moch Cymru. Enw yw Elin Haf Jones. My name is Elin Jones and I'm the North Wales Development Officer. The session today is all about salami, singing and sales. We're delighted to have Ruth Davies to join us today and deliver this webinar. Ruth runs Cwm Farm Charcuterie, a multi-award-winning Welsh charcuterie and smokehouse in South Wales. Off the back of winning Marketing Initiative of the Year at the National Pig Awards 2020, in this live webinar, Ruth will talk about the journey of setting up Cwm Farm Charcuterie. Briefly, before I pass you on to Ruth, just to make you aware that there will be an opportunity to ask questions. Therefore, you're welcome to use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen throughout the webinar. You're welcome to ask these in English or Welsh, and we'll try our very best to answer each question at the end. Also, at the end of the webinar, please stick around as we have Nia Morn from Cowain also joining us, who will provide a short update on what support they have available. Therefore, we'll go straight into it, and I'll pass you over to Ruth.
Hi, good afternoon. I just wanted to mention that we have had a few little hitches this afternoon, so therefore you can't see me, but you can see my PowerPoint. So hopefully my passion and what I'm trying to say will come out. So basically, a journey no one could predict. Salami, singing and sales. You might think singing with sales, but yes, I think I managed to do a bit of everything. So my journey started in 2010, where I had been working in a school for 18 years, 8 till 4. And my husband, Andrew, was carpenter, and he was traveling around the country. And the children had grown up and gone away, and we just felt, you know what? I think it's time that we need to start thinking about our future. And we've been both brought up in farming. So it was like, we really would love to buy some land and rear some pigs, which had been my dream. So we decided to one day, oh, come on, let's go for it. Let's see if there is some lovely plots of land around our local area. And one came up that we'd been looking at in June 2010. It was 20 acres to start with. And our aim was to rear rare breed pigs. I've reared quite a few different pigs along the way in earlier years, but it was the Tamworths, Gloucester Old Spots, Saddlebacks that I was more interested in going forward. So we purchased our 2 Gloucester Old Spots in pig gilts as soon as we purchased the farm, ready to move forward. So purchasing the 2 in pig gilts just set us up to a flying start, really, because I just don't like waiting for anything. I want it now. And so I got Andrew doing all the pig pens and doing all the fencing. And we'd only had these pigs, 2 Gloucester Old Spots, literally 6 weeks before we had our first litters. And we raised them for, it was about 9 months, and they were being raised for the table. They were being raised for pork boxes. And when the day came back that all our pork came back and we'd had sausages made and we'd had bacon made, we had it made for us then and different cuts. We just gave out all these pork products to family, friends, and we wanted to get the feedback. What did it taste like? After all we had raised them on outdoors, free range, and all the acorns, all the apples that we were giving them, was there any difference in that taste in them pigs? And the feedback that we had was amazing. In fact, that gave us the aim that we need to move on, we need to buy more pigs, and start doing them the way that we had just raised these last two. So we built more pens and we built more areas, and we bought then 20 little weaners that we raised, and we started it that way really. But then we started to sell the pork boxes, because this is where we needed to be. We needed to make money to make our farm more sustainable really. And we started selling the pork produce and the boxes, and we never had any problem. In fact, there was a waiting list, and that was great. But over the months, we started to realize there's not a great amount of added value to how much we had spent on raising these pigs really. So I could see, right, we needed to do something else. And I was always thinking, always, what else could we do to add value to our produce? That through the years has kept in the back of my mind, and it's even still there now. So after 12 months of selling pork boxes, what we could see really, that what we had achieved was giving us great reviews and a real good name for ourselves, but not the money that we needed to pay our mortgage and to pay for fencing and just to make it work. So one particular night I was there with Andrew and I said, right, what else could we do? How about a catering trailer? He said to me, you what? Catering trailer? And what were we going to do in this catering trailer? So I said, actually, I said, you think of it now, you don't need to be a mathematician. We get in £3 at that time for 6 slices of bacon. You put 2 slices of bacon in a roll and cook it. We get in treble more if we can add this to it and add that to it. And, you know, I said, there's got to be, in catering, you've got to be able to get more money for it. I'm sure we will. I'm sure if you cook a burger and serve it, we'll double our money. Okay, he said, let's give it a go. So we looked around for a little catering trailer that would suit. And Poacher's Pantry was born in 2011. And we rolled on into the local village on the bypass after getting all the regular paperwork intact. And we started. And we still had to have somebody to make our burgers, but to our recipes and our sausages, because at this time we had nowhere to do it, to make the produce. But at our local butchers, we used to take the pork, then they'd make the products for us, but to what I wanted, like perhaps pork and leek sausage, or as time went on, I got a little bit more adventurous, but they used to make it for us. So basically, we were cooking products at the side of the road, and we had drivers from miles away, lorry drivers, bus drivers, just cars stopping and beeping the horn when they went past, and they could see all over our catering trailer that it was us making it. It was from our farm. And we used to get a lot of people say, do you know what, this food is fantastic. You actually need an award for this food. And I thought, I was sitting there one day and I said to Andrew, do you know what? An award. Now that's what we need to do. We need to get an award for this. bacon butty that I'm cooking by year, not just any old bacon butty, but I want to put on my sign, this is an award-winning bacon butty. That'll get the people in, and I could put more money on that roll. He laughed at me and he said, where are we going to get these awards? And I said, the Royal Welsh. We'll go to the Royal Welsh. So Royal Welsh we went on the winter 2011 with 3 of my products in hand. I remember it to this day. It was a lamb burger, sausages and bacon. And I took it up to the Royal Welsh, and you had to go in and put them in for awards. We didn't know if we'd have anything or how it worked, but we took them up there and we left them with this gentleman and filled all the paperwork in. And we hung around all day, and we went to have a look in the food hall and around the winter fair. And I kept going back to see if they'd been marked. Yes, they had been marked, and at the end of the day, we were told that we had received 1 gold award for our sausages and 1 gold award for our bacon and a silver for our lamb burgers. Well, I think I cried all the way home from the Royal Welsh to Pontardawe, just that I could see on our catering trailer, and I could now put award-winning products. So, and I remember then on the way home, somebody must have heard on Radio Wales what had happened in the Royal Welsh, because I think they could hear me crying as I was going down the lane. And it was drive time from Radio Wales, and asked if I would do a radio show that evening. And I said, yes, I would be proud to. So even coming from there in 2011, I was doing a radio show that evening, telling everybody how I felt and what had just happened. So the following day, I can assure you, we had award-winning produce on our catering trailer. After 18 months then on Poacher's Pantry, my mind started to drift again. Do you know what? There's got to be something else, isn't there? From just making burgers and sausages, and yes, it's making us some money, but what else is out there? And I never forget, this lady came to our catering trailer, and she'd heard that there was grants out there at the moment for producers to go to Denmark for a week and see what else could be learned. And she'd read it on our local paper. So I got hold of our local paper that evening to try and find out who was running this. It was a government project that they had a grant for, and it would enable some food producers to go out to either Italy or Denmark, but there was room for Denmark. So I just said, can I come on that list? And they get back to me in a week or so to see if I was eligible, and yes, I was. So within 3 or 4 weeks of that phone call, I was off to stay on a pig farm with 52,000 pigs. And amongst other sort of events around, I was there for a week. And on this farm with 52,000 pigs, what did I learn? Well, I learned the art of curing, because actually they made a product called Salami snacks, which they sold in the wine bars from that company, and they showed me the process from start to finish, how it was made, and basically taught me that there was an add-on product out there that would, although it was technically difficult to do, it wasn't going to be an easy step. There was something out there that could be done and give us more added value. And by the time I'd come back from that trip, I was hooked basically on salami. So I remember going up to the catering trailer, because I'd come home in the morning and Andrew was on the catering trailer, and I went up to the catering trailer and I said, hi, I'm home. And he said, oh, Lord. I said, do you know what? I said, we're going to be making salami. He said to me, you what? I said, we're going to be making salami. But now my next problem was, where was I going to be making this salami? I know in my head I was going to be making curing products, but where? So I found out about Cawain, and I found out about a gentleman called Roland Thomas, who I got in touch with, and he came along to the catering trailer one morning and we had a chat, and he explained where they could help us on our journey, and that there was somewhere called the Food Centre Wales in Horeb, which would help producers like myself develop new products with excellent technical advice and everything that I would need, really, the packaging, the development, the making of it, and that although you have to pay to go there, you do get help and subsidized, and that would be the next step if I was really interested in making these products. So basically, off I went, myself and Andrew, to the food centre in Horeb and explained to them that we wanted to make salami, but one thing that I really wanted to get out of this was, yes, I'd been to Denmark and learned about the salami snacking ranges that was in Denmark, but basically I wanted to think out of the box. I didn't want to copy anybody else in what they made around the world. I wanted to learn the art of making salami, but I wanted to make a Welsh salami. And myself and Andrew had spoken about this at long length and decided he was a lava bread lover, and how about we make a lava bread salami? And I remember just looking at him thinking, lava bread salami, would that work? He said to me, I don't see why not. Let's give it a go. So off I went, and when I remember saying to the technician in the Welsh Food Centre, I remember her just looking at me, I've never heard of that one. I said, well, she said, I don't know if it'll work, but we will give it a try. We will try it. Well, for 18 months, we were there in the Welsh Food Centre, which I can't thank enough, to be honest, for the help, and Cawain for the help, because that really put us on the right journey. And we stayed there for 18 months and we developed our lava bread salami. Now, the next thing that we had to do, we developed 3 products. We had developed a plain salami, a traditional salami, a Moroccan style, a paprika style, but our loved lava bread salami. But now we had to go somewhere for people to purchase it, for people to give us their feedback, for people to tell us if they liked it, what they thought of it. So we had a stall with Cawain in 2015 at the Royal Welsh in the food hall, and I can remember thinking, I have never been so proud with all our produce there. But we'd also done some burgers and sausages that we were cooking as well, so that we could sell everything there and give everybody a taste of everything that we did. And I have never been so pleased, because one of our first customers of the morning was the Scarlets rugby team, who passed our stall and could smell the sausages and the bacon and everything cooking. And they came up to the stall and I started chatting to them, because we are rugby lovers. And obviously they're a local to us stadium, and they just ate us out of house and home. And I never knew what opportunity was around the corner from even that visit, because we'd made a stir with them, and we were telling them, you know, well, I think I started my marketing then, really, because I remember going, oh, cooks for you down there. Have you tried anything like this? Tell them they want to buy our burgers. And I remember them laughing and saying that they loved them. Well, the following week, I had a phone call from the Scarlett rugby management asking if I would go down to the stadium for a chat. And I said, oh, yes, I will come down. I would love that. I didn't really know what for, but I went down. And actually, they asked me if I would like to do the catering in the barn for all the fans, because we had made a huge hit that morning in the Royal Welsh from being with Cywain on that stall. So it sort of shows you really that when you get out there and you start promoting your produce and your products, what actually can come from one meeting. And as you know, in the Royal Welsh, there are so many people that you just don't know who you're talking to. You've just got to be yourself and showcase your products and give them a taste of everything, because you genuinely don't know. And I started in the rugby in the stadium the following fortnight with our products. And I don't know if some of you were aware, but we have been there ever since. I have been there now 6-7 years. And we started off in the barn, and now we actually run the majority of the kiosks in the stadium with all our produce. And we have got to know the Scarletts, rugby players and the management and lots of others extremely well over the years. And it's, I just feel a part of the family, and you would just never know what would be around the corner. And as I say, what I have learned along the way, it's about grabbing opportunities, making contacts. We made a lot of contacts from the Royal Welsh and the different events that we have done. But actually then in the Scarletts, it's been an amazing journey on the contacts that we have made and the friends and the friendships we have made along the way. And it is about shouting about your products from the rooftops. There's one story I'd like to tell you about. It's the ambassador in Helsinki story. After I'd done quite a few events with Cywain, I started to go around the world basically with the food industry, Food and Drink Wales. I joined a fine food cluster with the Welsh Government. And then there was certain trips that you could go and sign up just to see how it would be like to export your products, or go and see what's going on around the world and what products they have, or if there was any opportunities for you. And my first trip with some of the food producers was to Helsinki, to the embassy. And Sarah Price was the ambassador at the time. And I remember that there was a day there where we could actually meet buyers. And they actually came to the embassy to meet us. And we had to put all our products out. And I remember putting all our salami out. And Sarah Price, the ambassador, she actually came around all the tables, and she was lovely, and she spoke to each and every one of us and asked us what we were doing. And I explained to her I made salami from our pigs, and she was telling me that, all right, can you make salami with every meat then, or is it just pork? I said, no, once you learn the art of curing and making salami, there's a lot of meats that you can make this product with. And she said, no, I've never tasted venison salami. "Oh, haven't you?" I said. "No," she said, "never ever. I've never seen it or never tasted it." And off she went into the next food producer, and I can remember my mind just racing. And when I got back to the unit after this trip, because we'd had a little unit then in Pontardawe, where we had taken on, which was just a small little unit, 1,000 square feet, after the Royal Welsh to make our products. I'd come back there, and I remember saying to Andrew, "I wonder, shall I make that ambassador some venison salami and send it out to her?" This was just before Christmas. "Why not?" he said. "Let's see if it gets there." So I made her not just any old venison salami. You've just got to think out of the box and do something a little bit different. So I made her a venison with apricot and brandy salami and a venison with rum and raisin salami. And I sent the two of them to the embassy to Sarah Price. And I put a little note in there thanking her for her welcome to us, to the embassy, and how lovely it was. And that I remembered her conversation, and that actually I had made her some salami for her to taste of venison, and that I hoped she liked it. Well, within a few days, somebody had tagged me from the embassy in Helsinki, and it was actually Sarah Price herself, which she had not only taken a photo of all the salami that I'd sent her, which was sliced and laid out on a beautiful silver platter, but she'd actually sent this picture to every embassy around the world, what I had done. Now, you cannot pay for that publicity. And I'll be honest, over the 10 years we've been doing this, I have never, ever paid for any publicity. I have shouted it. I have shouted about it myself, and different ways, and got other people to shout about it. But if money is tight, and it is when you're starting up a new business, I couldn't have paid for that publicity. And in fact, I've had, from that connection all them years ago, I am still getting emails from embassies, which I have just sort of went 2 years ago to the Hague, embassy in the Hague, Belgium, and showcased our products at different events. It has just been amazing. I would also say it hasn't always been sort of perfect and everything going to plan. I will always say to people that I speak to and food producers that are starting up, you know, it seems to be one step forward, 2 steps back. And I think that's how it goes, but you've just got to be keeping going and keeping going. And I would say, working with others, I find collaborating and working with others. Now I'm in a fine food cluster, and I work with, you know, some of the best food producers, I believe, in the world. And, you know, let's get together and help each other. I just recently collaborated with Wrexham Lager, and you'd think lager company, but actually we marinate some of our pork in their lager, and we developed salami crisps, which is something new we did last year. And we started to make our salami, but then tried to think what else we could do from the salami. So actually, you make the salami and then you dry it slightly differently, but you can slice it then very finely and make it into a salami crisp. And we developed, so between us, we developed a salami crisp, and I collaborated with them. Hampers I have recently done, and I've collaborated with lots of Welsh producers. Thinking out of the box, that one stands out for me all the time, because I think that if you're making a preserve, if you're making anything, I'm in the pork industry, I'm in the meat industry, but you've got to stand out from the crowd. So, you know, just don't do a normal bacon, you've got to do something else with that bacon. I make, you know, I specialise in salami, and so it's about making a leek salami or a lava bread salami. I try and do a Welsh, everything with a Welsh twist. We've just opened our new unit in Ystrygynlais. When we came from the Royal Welsh, when we first went there with Cywain, we realised that we couldn't stay in the Welsh Food Centre forever, that we needed to open our new unit. So in 2015, we opened a little unit in Pontardawe with 1,000 square feet. And I would never have believed that in 2020, I would now be opening a new unit, which we have recently expanded to, which is 4,000 square feet. And in the picture that you can see to the right is where I worked with 2 students from Carmarthen Art College, and they helped me actually paint one whole wall, a mural of our journey, which is where you can see some of the salami hanging in the windows and the Scarlets rugby team right behind. And obviously to this day, I mean, even last week I have just launched a new biltong, because we have Highland cattle on the farm as well. And obviously my contacts and friendships that I've gained along the years, Ken Owens, the captain, was one very close contact. And I have just launched with Ken the Sheriff's biltong, which was launched last week from this new unit, which has been fantastic. And Rupert Moon actually opened the unit for me in March. So the contacts that I have made and the friendships and the collaborations of, I look back at my last 10 years and think, wow. But I will say it's always been 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I would say my competition sort of side of me I love, and winning this award has been amazing. But I noticed that when we opened this unit and we went into lockdown, I really started to worry a little bit of, so we opened our unit March the 1st, and we went into lockdown, I believe it was March the 23rd. And April was one of my lowest months, in the fact where we had just invested a heck of a lot of money into this new unit, and how was I going to now sell our products? The hospitality sort of area had started to close down, and the stadiums, and we had just got our first order into the Royal Albert Hall and places like that. And where was I going to go now? Well, it wasn't long before I realised that I had to go down the retail side of it and actually sell more online. And it was around about April that I started to really get into my social media skills of, right, okay, I want to shout about our products now on social media, and the Twitter and the Instagram and everywhere else, because I need to get it out to people now, what we do and the different products that we make. And I was thinking, yes, there's lots of people out there that can actually, that are promoting their own products and putting it out there on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. What can I do that's different? So I was sitting here one morning, I was sitting here one morning and Shirley Bassey came on the radio and she sang, "Hey, Big Spender." And I was just twiddling my fingers and going to the beat. And I don't know what it was, but when she came into the sentence of spend a little time with me, I just sang, "Buy a little salami off me." And the next week or two, it was just going in my mind. And I don't sing. I don't even get on the karaoke. But I wanted people on my Twitter, which I've got 4,000 followers, to actually see the real me. So other than just putting words on Twitter or little bits, I wanted to put videos. I wanted them to see the real me. And my humorous side or my cheeky side, because you've got to be a little bit cheeky as well to sell your products. And it was about, I wanted them to see the real me. So I used to go out on video. So one particular evening, I sang Shirley Bassey and actually sang the verse with "Buy a little salami off me." I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I even put a little cheeky wink at the end of it. But you know what? It worked. It was a gamble, and my daughter was mortified. She's 35, but she was mortified. But you know what? It worked. It worked because the orders came flying in. And once they kept flying in, I realized that people want to see the real you. They want to see the real business. They want to see the story behind the business. They want to see everything about it. So actually, it was actually fantastic to do that and to see the responses. But the response was great. But you've just got to think out the box, and you've got to think of where you're going, and things will just come to you, but just be yourself. And I think that that sells a lot. In fact, this Christmas has been the busiest Christmas that I've ever had. I collaborated with this picture, which was our hampers, and I just didn't put our hampers out there for sale on Twitter. I actually made a few hampers out, and I went out to certain people and give a hamper away. So I give one to some of the contacts and friends that I'd made along the way in the rugby. Ken Owen had a hamper, and he put it on his Instagram, and Rupert Moon, and then some of the food days. I've got very friendly with some chefs in London along the way, and I asked them if they could help. And I might have been just given, you know, one or two away, but I asked them if they would put it out there and retweet. And then I did competitions, retweet for a competition, you can win this hamper. And I think it worked. It really did work. So, yes, I think that, yeah, it was really great to win that competition. And it just brought it home to me that, actually, I'm not cracking up. I'm doing a good job. So if anybody like to ask any questions or anything, let me know.
Thank you very much, Ruth. That was yeah, amazing. Such an inspirational talk. Thank you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed that session. Would it be possible for you to stop sharing your screen for a minute, please?
Yes.
Okay. And
yeah.
then there's a few questions come in, so I can I'll ask these, and then if you're okay to answer live, that would be great.
Yes, that's great.
So we've had one question come in. What's been a standout moment for you with Cwm Farm Charcuterie?
A standout moment for me was last year when I remember somebody coming to me when we had just made our laverbread salami and looking me straight in the eye and said to me, this won't work. This won't work. I was at the market and he said, they're only buying it, he said, because it's different and it's laverbread salami. I don't think this will work. And I never forget that conversation, because he just took me back. And that was when we first launched it, and everybody else loved it. And over the years, they've come back and they've bought more and they've bought more and they've bought more. But it was like how, somebody just said, you can't stop believing in yourself. If you think you've got a good product, you've got to think of not everybody is going to love it, and not everybody is going to think exactly the same as you. You're just biased because it's your product. But over the years, you've just got to keep at it and keep putting it out there. But my highest moment was last year when we actually put our laverbread salami and 2 other products into a world award in Athens in Greece last summer. And there was very high competition from around the world with different products. And we actually won a gold medal, a gold award for our laverbread salami in Greece. And I have never been so proud. But that chap still came back to me, and I just thought, you know what, I'd love to see you now, because I think that if he'd have said that to certain people that was making products, it might put them off. And you can't certainly leave somebody's thoughts put you off. You've got to keep at it. And that proved to me, although it's been proven over the years, that was my highest point. I'm sorry, Ellen, I can't hear you.
Another question, how many pigs do you currently have on the farm, and what breed?
Currently, we have about 58 saddlebacks now on the farm. It can be as many as 200 in the spring or in the summer, but we try to lower the numbers in January and February, because they are outdoors. Although they have their pens and woodlands and everywhere for shelter, the weather is extremely bad, and where they don't thrive as well because they are outdoors, but they can be as much as 200 when the weather changes and we bring more on.
Lovely. Another question, what keeps you going through hard times?
Belief in what we do, and the thousands of people over the years that just tell us that they love what we do, and that they love what we do and what we produce. And basically it's the customers and the reviews and the lovely, lovely people that are out there just keep us coming back.
Lovely, thank you very much. And I think we have time for a quick question. And this is a very good question. New product development seems core to your business. Where do you get all these ideas from?
I don't know, to be honest. Well, I've travelled quite a bit, and I just think of you've got to bring new products into your business, basically, and to keep it alive, because people want to see. They don't want my same products year after year. You've got to be doing something new, as well as keep your core products, but just put the odd one in now and again. But it's working. I love collaborating with other producers or different people. So it's about making everything from basically from the beef or from the pork or whatever, and adding different sort of recipes with them. I think we just love doing it. We just enjoy doing product development and seeing what people think.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Lovely, Ruth, thank you very much once again. Briefly, before we move on to hear from Nia from Cywain, I'd like to talk about a few things that Menter Moch Cymru has available for you. As previously mentioned, we have bespoke branding support for your business, so that your business can be heard and you can provide labels and what have you for your business. Also, if you head over to our resource hub, we have a wealth of information here from selling direct fact sheet, and we've got a few webinars on selling pork and marketing too. Therefore, I'd like to hand you over now to Nia Morn from Cywain. We're delighted to have you with us today, Nia, for a quick update on their project and what has Cywain offer for your business.
Helo, diolch fawr. Nice gweld chi gyd, a lovely gweld Ruth. It's so lovely to see you, Ruth. I haven't seen you, well, nobody's seen each other, I suppose, for nearly a year now, but you have absolutely flown the flag for Wales and for primary producers in Wales across the world. And we're very proud of everything that you've done, and you've done it all yourself. Ond jyst I sôn chydig bach am Cywain wan, dwi'n meddwl mae Ruth di sôn lot yn barod amdana ni, chwarae teg iddi. Thanks for everything you said about Cywain. I'd better follow that now. Can you see the screen, the shared screen? Ellen,
Yndw, gweld hwnna perfectly.
Diolch. So, Cywain, da ni'n mynd ers 12 mlynedd bellach. We started out working only with primary producers, but now we work with any Welsh food and drink producer. So, mae yna lot o bethau da ni'n neud, da ni'n helpu chi I sefydlu neu gwmni sydd wedi cychwyn yn barod I dyfu. So we work with already established companies or people starting out, just to help you look at all the aspects of launching a company and a brand, helping you to find routes to market. We have a pot of money towards branding, support to create labels and so forth, market intelligence and all kinds of information that might be useful to you and your potential markets. And we just make sure that you know of everything that is available, all the support mechanisms out there. Ruth already mentioned the HOREB, the food centres. There are food centres across Wales. Mae yna un yn Llangefni, mae yna un yn HOREB yn Llandysul a un yn Nghaerdydd. There's one in Cardiff, Llandysul and in Anglesey, and we work very closely with them and other support providers. Then what we do, we try and help people to find the routes to market. These are some samples of brands that we've recently helped companies to create. So these are a bit of everything here. We've got a Welsh tea, the first Welsh tea, peats and tea, down here in the Vale of Glamorgan. And there's some sea salt and beer and all kinds of different produce. And we have some support towards that. Hefyd, dyn ni yn y gorffennol, dim ar hyn o bryd, wrth gwrs, mae bach yn wahanol, yn helpu cwmnïau braw fasnachu fel wnaeth Ruth yn y lle cyntaf. So helping people to test trade for the first time. And if I would move my screen, you could see Ruth here. So you start out at the Royal Welsh or in smaller local food festivals and so forth, and then build up to the things like Farm Shop and Deli, which is one of the largest trade shows that there are in the UK. So these are the kind of things that we work with growth companies towards. And we also hold usually workshops, gweithdai o bob math, but at the moment, of course, everything is online. So we have, well, 100 times more than usual, different access to different workshops. For example, in the next week or so, we have how to create a shop online on Facebook or Instagram, marketing on a budget and business planning. That's just some of the webinars we have going in the next week or so. And they're all available online. Mae'r wefan y fanna, neu fedrwn ni yrru hon ymlaen ata chi. And they're all free, I should have said that. All our support is free. All the webinars are free, and you can just register as long as you've registered with Cywain, of course. Felly dyna ni, os oes gan unrhyw un gwestiwn, y groeso i chi ofyn I ni. Chwarae teg, mae Ruth wedi deud yn barod, mae cydweithio sydd yn bwysig I ni gyd fel cynhyrchwyr yng Nghymru. That collaboration is key to a lot of this. If there are any questions, you're welcome to ask. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr iawn ni am ymuno arno ni heddiw a am yr holl wybodaeth am Cywain. Felly, oes unrhyw gwestiwn I Nia? Neu mae groeso chi gysylltu ni hefyd o'n I rannu gwybodaeth a e-bost Cywain neu Nia efo chi. Dyna ddim problem o gwbl. Na fo, diolch yn fawr iawn. A wedyn, swn I jyst yn licio diolch I bawb am ymuno. And a big, huge thank you to Ruth once again for joining us and for the lovely presentation about Cwm Farm charcuterie. Diolch eto, Nia, am ymuno arno ni. And hope all have found the presentation useful. Our next session will be with Caroline Mitchell, how the pig industry can live up to consumer expectations, factors affecting meat quality of pork. And this will be starting, we'll be starting at this moment as we've had a few Q&As coming in, so we've run a little bit over time, but yeah, we'll start this with Caroline Mitchell in the next few minutes. Therefore, thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn I pawb. A gobeithio nawch chi ymuno ni mewn sesiwn hwyrach ymlaen heddiw. Diolch yn fawr iawn.